A lot of people, or most people, especially in the United States, has heard of Disneyland or has heard of the dreams of going there. I've actually been there myself. Even though I was a little young, I would always cherish those magical memories from there. Most people don't have the knowledge of the actual history of Disney. I'm here to inform you about this interesting history. The beginning history of the ideas for Disneyland. A man named Walt Disney had an idea. His idea was to have a place where families could spend quality time together. He wanted to create a magical park. Walt Disney had a plan for the park put together of what he wanted to do, which the original plan was to get 8 acres next to the Burbank Studios where his employees and families could go to relax. During that time, when he finally got his thoughts and ideas together, he had to put them on hold because of World War II. Walt finally realized that he might have to put a new creation together, but once he did, he thought that 8 acres wouldn't be enough space. In 1953, Walt Disney had to find more land so he can actually build the park. He had the Stanford Research Institute do a survey for a 100-acre piece of land. He said that he needed a space to build rivers, waterfalls, and mountains. He would have flying elephants and giant teacups, a fairy tale castle, moon rockets, and a scenic railway, all inside a magic kingdom he called Disneyland. When they were looking for a location, Walt wanted to have a great one possibly in a metropolitan area and can be accessed by a freeway. Also, when he had a location in mind, he needed it to be an affordable price for him. Walt's location finally ended up in the rural California with the purchase of a 160-acre orange grove near the junction of Santa Ana Freeway and Harbor Boulevard. The construction of Disney. Walt Disney knew that this project was going to cost a lot of funding, so Walt turned to television for his financial support, called Walt Disney's Disneyland. So for Walt to get the funding, he had to pitch the idea to potential networks. His idea that he was going to pitch to the networks was to create a show that incorporated the future plans of Disneyland. The network that finally accepted Disney's idea was ABC. Walt had tracked down Herb Ryman, an artist friend, to help him draw a detailed rendering of what Disneyland would look like. Over the weekend, which came to be known as the Lost Weekend, Walt talked about his vision for Disneyland while Herb drew. In April 1954, Walt brought in retired Admiral Joe Fowler on board to supervise the project. To Fowler, Disneyland looked like a lot what he called blue sky plans. But the man known as Admiral Candu, who once ran the busy San Francisco Navy Yard, was perfect for the job. Construction began July 16, 1954. During each week, the show was hosted by Walt and featured the programs from Fantasyland, Adventureland, Frontierland, and Tomorrowland. The viewers during the show would get footage of how the process of Disneyland was coming along to get their interest. After 1 full year of rigorous construction demands and a total investment of $17 million, the gates of Disneyland would be open for its first guest Sunday, July 17, 1955. Disneyland's progress from then to now. In December 1966, Walt had more visions to complete, but he passed away from lung cancer. Before he can finish them, his brother Roy Disney became CEO chairman of the company. He was finishing Walt's project by overseeing the construction of Walt Disney World. Roy had passed away 3 months after completing the new project in Florida 1971. Even after the death of the Disney founders, Disney still continued to expand. Already, there have been 5 cities were home to 13 Disney theme parks, 46 resort hotels, a Disney cruise line, and guided vacation experiences. The original park in California, Disneyland remains a popular vacation destination. There are 8 different parks within the Disneyland now. First would be Main Street, USA, which is at the entrance of the Disneyland Park. This is the street where the original architecture of whenever Walt designed it. The second park located beyond Sleeping Beauty Castle, is Fantasyland. This is the part of the park where you can meet the Disney heroes and villains, which is including the princesses such as Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella. Third is Tomorrowland, which represents the fantasy of the future with rides like Space Mountain and Buzz Lightyear Astro Blaster. The fourth park is New Orleans Square, a place where you can celebrate Mardi Gras all year. Also, there is a Haunted Mansion with 999 ghosts and a Pirates of the Caribbean ride. The fifth park is Adventureland. This is where Indiana Jones rides in Jungle Theme Park. The sixth park is Critter County, where it resembles the deep backwoods and you can go through the adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The seventh park is Mickey's Toontown, which is Walt's first park he designed, and it has the Roger Rabbit cartoon and Gadget's Go Coaster, and Mickey's and others classic cartoon houses. The last park is called Frontierland, and it's a park that involves heroes of the Old West and has shows at the Golden Horseshoe Blaze. Disneyland has made a new addition to the park called Star Wars Land. A few pieces of the concept was released at the DC Expo 2015. The 14-acre Star Wars Land would be built in the top left corner of the park, taking over the land previously occupied by the backstage areas. Disney is aiming for a December 2018 grand opening for Star Wars Land. The baby boomers still visit now with their own children and grandchildren, more than 5 decades since its opening. An antique lamp still burns alight in Walt Disney's personal apartment above the firehouse on Main Street, USA, in memory of the man who dreamt up the happiest place on earth. Most of you have heard of Disneyland or has actually visited this vacation destination, but now hopefully you'll have a better understanding of how the idea of Disneyland became, the construction of it, and also how much it has improved and changed from 1955 to now in 2016. So many families and children will cherish these magical memories, and if they haven't, they will have the dreams of wanting to go to Disneyland. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Now.
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
I've actually been there when I was little. I don't remember a lot, but I remember it was a great experience by looking through pictures.
Noise.
Fun.
Any other questions? I have pictures of, this is the first Disneyland that was built in 1955, and this one's Disneyland now. So if you want to look at them, you can.
Oh my god.